Striker Scorpion 82 is now sponsored by Warhammer Combat Cards, a card battle game featuring your favourite Citadel miniatures from the 40k universe. Build your army decks, dominate opponents in player versus player action, collect and upgrade cards to fit your strategy, improve their power and unlock unique traits. Choose from all 40k factions, take part in campaigns based on iconic 40k battles, rise to the top of the leaderboard and win glory. Free to download and play, link is in the video description below or on the channel homepage, and by using the unique link it helps support the channel. Thanks and enjoy the game. Right, welcome to this Tactica and Showcase video. Is for the new Commander Shadowsun model for the Tau Empire. So in this episode, I finished painting the model, so we're going to zoom in, take a look at the actual model and see how it's come out. And then also we'll take a look at the rules here. So is Commander Shadowsun worth taking in your army is the question. Not too expensive in points, but number of new upgrades, the new rules here, number of extra weapons and different configurations you can go for, and the updated rules for the drones as well. So we'll see if Commander Shadowsun tactically is worth taking in your Tau list. So first thing, I'll show the model first of all, and these videos, the idea behind them is you can focus in on a specific unit and really get an idea of how good that unit is, what it can do and so on, before you make a choice of putting it into your list, before you even go ahead and buy the model and add it into your army. But Games Workshop recently, for the new Psychic Awakening book, have re-released Commander Shadowsun, beautiful plastic model. I'll zoom in just a moment, and then with that set you get 2 drones as well. Big thank you to Games Workshop. They sent me a copy of this model here. I said I'd paint it up and use it for our battle reports, and they very kindly sent me a copy of the model through the post. So painted up in my usual colour scheme for the Tau. So I've zoomed in here, but talking to another 40k player, they're saying that the resculpts that Games Workshop have been doing recently of famous characters like Drukhari, Master of Blades, for example, Mephiston, and now Commander Shadowsun. So it's not all new ideas, new stuff coming out, but it's taking the time to resculpt some of the most famous characters in 40k, and I have to say Games Workshop have done a fantastic job here. I think this model's excellent. Nice large base. Seems to be quite common here. Drukhari, Master of Blades for the Drukhari. Big large base for that model as well. But this broken Imperial Eagle here, all the skulls and bullets, that's all part of that plastic kit as well. I've just blended it in my urban basing colour scheme just there. But it's a good height here. That's the height of a drone. If you're familiar with the height of that, Shadowsun reaches that height just there, if not just beyond. So good presence on the battlefield here for this commander, and just rotate it around like so. So originally when I first, it was the Tau. I played Warhammer 40,000 when I was about 14 years old. I think that was 40k second edition. Then I took a break from 40k, did a lot of historical wargaming, and then 2005 I think it was, I saw a White Dwarf magazine. James had bought it and had the Tau. I hadn't seen that faction before, and it was the Tau that got me back into 40k, and then from that has come the channel and so on. So the original colour scheme I had for these was the dark grey, the mid grey and white, and then I revamped my Tau army, adding in all the weathering effects and chipping effects and so on, and then introduced orange just as a spot colour as well. I think that works quite nicely. If you like this colour scheme here, you're welcome to copy it. There is a full tutorial here on YouTube. Just go on the painting tutorial section and you can copy that colour scheme. I'll show you from start to finish, cover all the basing, how to do that, this colour scheme here, and then all the effects that you see, the washes, the colours, chipping effect, all of that covered in that video. You're welcome to copy it and use that for your own painting scheme, and it's pretty quick. It's quite an effective technique. You can get some results nice and quickly of that. So that's Commander Shadowsun herself, and comes with 2 drones like so. One of them's a Command Link drone, one's an Advanced Guardian drone I think it's called. We'll check out the rules for them in just a moment. But great work And it's like they come as a pair. You see the way they've sculpted them like they're two halves to surround the commander, so that's a clever thing to add in, just making these unique for Commander Shadowsun. But that's the models, and she comes with her own 2 drones like so. Over on the Plus channel there's an in-depth painting tutorial for the Tau, so if you come up against some bigger projects like the tanks and so on, I have an in-depth painting tutorial. It's the Storm Surge from start to finish, how to paint that in that colour scheme, cover the basing and techniques and transfers and so on, all covered in that video. So that's Commander Shadowsun. I really rate the model. Whether the rules are any good, we'll see. It's okay, but I wouldn't say the most powerful that the Tau can take. But we'll take a look at the rules now for Commander Shadowsun. So just position those over there. So currently the updated rules aren't in the codex. You need the Psychic Awakening book. Till Games Workshop re-release the Tau codex. So Commander Shadowsun, we'll go through these rules here. It's power level 9, it's an HQ choice, and so the discussion between Tau players is, do you take Commander Shadowsun instead of a regular commander? My commander Ghost Strike is an enforcer battle suit, has more wounds, and the loadout I go for is quadruple fusion blaster, so 4 fusion blaster shots at 2s to hit is pretty nasty. More expensive obviously, so if you're looking perhaps for a cheaper commander and spend less points and you've got a slot that you can put a commander in, then by all means Shadowsun, a pretty good deal points wise. I'm about 110 points now for Commander Shadowsun. So for that then, Commander Shadowsun herself, movement 8, so can move pretty quick around the board. Weapon skill of 3+, crucially ballistic skill is 2+, so 2s to hit, so nice and reliable with the firepower. Strength 4, toughness 4, it's got 5 wounds, which is okay. Battlesuit commander usually about 6, so a little bit weaker that way. 4 attacks, which isn't too relevant because Shadowsun, you're not really looking to get into combat or achieve anything in close combat. Leadership 9 and the 3+ armor save. Then the 2 drones, the MB-37 Advanced Guardian Drone, movement 8, so they'll keep up with Shadowsun no problem. Weapon skill 5+, ballistic skill 5+, strength 3, toughness 4, 1 wound, 1 attack, leadership 6 and a 4 up save. And the Command Link drone is exactly the same stat wise. There's some special rules for both of those, which we'll look at in just a moment. Commander Shadowsun is a single model equipped with a flechette launcher, which is a new upgrade, 2 high energy fusion blasters, light missile pod, that's another extra they've added on, and a pulse pistol. This model is accompanied by the 2 drones and only 1 Shadowsun per army. So you can opt for different war gear options. It didn't used to be able to. Usually it was just a double fusion blaster and that's it. But you've got options now for Shadowsun. So you can swap out the high energy fusion blaster, and it can instead be equipped with 1 dispersed fusion blaster. So for each one, so you get 2 of them, you can swap them around for 2 dispersed fusion blasters. So which do you go for? Is the question. So the dispersed fusion blaster is range 18, that's your usual range for a fusion blaster, but it's assault 2, so you're going to get 2 shots, and there's 2 of them, so you're going to get 4 shots at 2s to hit. But it's strength 7, and strength 7 you kind of sacrifice a bit of anti-tank. You know, a lot of the nastier tanks and dreadnoughts and so on are going to be toughness 8, so you're going to have all of a sudden 5s to wound those tougher vehicles, so not so good in that respect. Your average vehicle, like a Predator for example, Rhino, is going to be toughness 7, and you're only going to be on 4s to wound strength 7. -4 though, damage is only D3, so you're sacrificing damage for number of shots. The advantage I see of that is if you're going to go after maybe heavy infantry, where you're trying to pick out individual models, or try and take out as many individual models as possible. So for example, you find at Primaris Marines, with the dispersed fusion blast, you're going to get 4 shots instead of 2, so better for that kind of target. So if you fire at targets within half range, so 9 inches or closer, you roll an additional D3 and determine damage, and you discard the lowest dice. So you're on 2d3 damage, picking the best. It's a bit more reliable when you get close enough. So if there is a role for your commander where you need to go against heavy infantry, perhaps all your anti-tanks taken care of already by other units, need a bit of anti-heavy infantry, then you can go for the dispersed. But I've tried that in a couple of games. You end up firing at vehicles with a lower strength and damage, and range 18. The high energy fusion blaster, which is just your regular fusion blaster here, strength 8 -4 d6 damage. If you get to within half range, rolling 2d6 choosing the best. But for this one, it's range 24, not 18. A pretty good range there for such a high caliber weapon being carried by a battlesuit commander. So I'm half tempted. I think I experiment with both. I'm half tempted to go back to the standard fusion blaster, go for the high energy one here, and get that 24-inch range, and just snipe at any kind of target at range, monsters, vehicles, using those 2 shots. But you're getting strength 8 -4 and d6 damage. So I mean, back in 7th edition, 6th edition, the fusion blaster was to be feared. You could pop a tank with 1 fusion blaster, but not so much now. You're going to need on average, 3 or 4 of them to really take a vehicle down, because your results are quite random. Here in 8th edition, you could get 1 damage or you could get 6, so it's quite a lot of variations there with the result that you can get. So difficult choice. I'm going to experiment with both, but heavy weaponry, just 2 shots at strength 8 or 4 shots at strength 7 and only d3 damage. So I think the best use you're going to get out of Shadowsun is to stay alive for as many turns in the game as possible, and then just snipe with those weapons and try and get your points back over time. You're not going to do it, I don't think, in 1 or 2 turns. It's going to have to be sniping every turn with that battlesuit. She's a character, so you can hide behind other units, screen behind them, and just snipe away with that firepower, gradually take out targets, and then redeem the points that you've spent. So, which is a mistake that I've made. The couple of games I've played, Shadowsun's died quite quick, and that's a shame because it's a waste of points. So the key is just to be patient with Shadowsun, I think, and to try and just snipe at range. And the best weapon to do that is going to be the high energy fusion blaster. You can keep further away from the enemy and still let your shots off at range 24. So the missile pod you get as well, which matches nicely the high energy fusion blaster because that's range 24 as well. Assault 2, strength 7, -1 d3 damage. So a little bit extra there you can go for against heavier infantry targets as well. You've got a pulse pistol, which finds yourself locked in close combat, and then flechette launcher as well, range 18, pistol 5, strength 3, AP -4, AP 0, sorry, then 1 damage with that. So gets for the greater good, so able to do the supporting fire as per usual for the tower. Gets Master of War, so you can go for Montcut or Koyan. If she stands still, units within 6 inches, as long as they don't move, will get to reroll failed hit rolls. Very, very useful. Again, big incentive for keeping Shadowsun back, in amongst your back line, ready to help with firepower. Or you can go for Montcut, which is where units are able to advance and shoot without penalty. And again, that would fit in with Shadowsun quite well. You can join in with that advance as the units surge forwards. And I've used that Master of War a couple of times, and it's been actually pretty effective and catch an opponent out when all of a sudden your whole army surges forwards. That is a useful option. But no, I really do think the key is to keep Shadowsun alive. You keep her alive for as many turns as possible. And even towards the end of the game, turn 5, turn 6, turn 7, use it to move around quite quickly around the board, mopping up damaged targets and killing off the last few heavy infantry and so on. I think you'd find Shadowsun would be very useful if you're able to keep her from being destroyed. The combo I've kind of gone for is to pair, because it's a stealth battlesuits here, is to pair Shadowsun up and work behind a screen of ghost kill battlesuits. But it's been caught out though in a couple of games, so even then you need to be careful. So, a stack of rules here for herself and the drones. Defender of the greater good. When this model would lose any wounds as a result of an attack whilst this model is in 3 inches of a friendly stealth battlesuits unit. So that's the stealth battlesuits, not the ghost kills, the stealth ones. That unit can attempt to intercept that attack And that would have been handy when she was caught out in close combat. Having friendly stealth battle suits able to intervene and soak up wounds. Good for keeping her alive. Quite vulnerable. She can get caught out, so a bodyguard of stealth battle suits would be a pretty good idea. That unit can attempt to intercept the attack, roll d6 on 2+. The model does not lose wounds, but that unit suffers 1 mortal wound for each of those wounds. Only 1 attempt can be made to intercept each attack. So yeah, a good way to protect Shadowsun. May well be worth doing. Supreme Commander. This model can be included in a Tau Empire detachment without preventing other units in that detachment from gaining a Sept Tenet. So she is Tau, 5+ Overwatch, but can be added to other Septs, which is useful. Nice broad application in Shadowsun, whatever Sept you're collecting. Note, however, this model does not benefit from any Sept Tenet unless the Sept Tenet selected for that detachment is coordinated via Orks. So you've got Infiltrator. So if you are going to use stealth battle suits and ghost kills and so on, she can accompany them. Similar rules. When you set this model up and it's accompanying drones during deployment, they can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that's more than 12 inches away from the enemy deployment zone and any enemy models. She can infiltrate in. But as I said and emphasising in this video, be careful if you are going to infiltrate, because there's a lot of fast stuff in 40k that could quickly catch infiltrators out. Genius of the Kion. Once per battle, this model can declare Kion, even if Kion or Montka has already been declared. Montka and Kion cannot both be declared in the same turn. So, useful. That can be used again. The command link drone. At the start of your shooting phase, if a friendly command link drone model is within 3 inches of this model, select one friendly Tau Empire unit within 12 inches, say Ghost Kill for example. To the end of that phase, when resolve an attack made by a model in that unit, that Tau Empire unit, you can reroll a hit roll of 1. So rerolling once, you grant them to a unit if the drone's alive. Downside I've found with these drones, they're handy little drones, but they're not characters, which means they can be picked on and the opponent will know that and they'll go after the drones and wipe them away. And so they look great, the little drones, but they can be picked on while Shadowsun can remain hidden. That's annoying because you lose the little benefits from the drones, which is a shame. It's easy to pick them off, just 2 drones, quite easy to bring those down. So unless you're clever, you try and hide the drones somewhere, but then that kind of restricts the movement that Shadowsun can do, so it's a bit annoying. But anyway, the ability to reroll ones, useful enough. Drone support. When the model is set up on the battlefield, its accompanying drone models are set up in coherency with it. From that point onwards, the drone models are treated as separate units. The drones can move off and so on and be targeted. Camouflage fields. Resolve an attack made by a ranged weapon against this model or any accompanying drones. It's -1 to the hit rolls. So it's -1 to the hit rolls, which is okay. It'll protect the drones a little bit. Then the Stalker battlesuit is a 5+ invuln save. Just to help out a little bit if you're sniped at, shot at or caught out in close combat. There is some kind of invuln save, but again, don't expect Shadowsun to last too long if she does get caught out in close combat. Chance for the greater good, and then save your protocols. The drones can intercept wounds against her. Just the Sept infantry battlesuit unit within 3 inches of Sept drones. Yeah, just the usual rules for save your protocols there. And then extra abilities here. That's for the command link drone. Its special rule is there, the ability to reroll ones. And then the advanced guardian drone, one with a shield generator here. Yeah, it just grants a 4+ invuln save for the advanced guardian field. It maybe should have been a 3+, because it's just like a special drone, but it's a 4+. When a friendly Tau Empire model would lose a wound while within 3 inches of this model, roll a d6, and on 6 the wound is not lost. And again, it is annoying because a standard shield drone, I don't know, a standard shield drone, this is an advanced guardian field, and it's an advanced guardian drone. And yeah, unless it's been corrected, if you know this has been corrected by Games Workshop, but its stats are worse than a shield drone. Because a shield drone has a 4+ invuln save, and then when it intercepts a hit, because it's a shield drone, on a 5+, it will survive. whereas here it's a 6 for itself. I'm just seeing if there's any other bonuses. No. So shield drone for towers. Shield drone is a special rule where it takes the hit, takes them all to and it's slain. But then on a 5+ it comes back alive again. I can't see any rule for that here for the advanced guardian drone, which is a shame. But it can spread out its benefit to other units that are nearby. This model has a 4+ invuln save. When a friendly tower empire model would lose a wound whilst within 3 inches of this model, on a d6 the wound is not lost. So there's some help there on 6s for models that are nearby, and it includes itself. A 6 the wound is not lost, but yeah, it's a shame it's not 3+ invuln save, just to give it a little bit of durability and to make it a bit special compared to other drones. And again, the downside is that these drones can be shot at because they're not characters, so that's an annoying aspect. That's quite frustrating when your little drones with their little abilities just get blown away very, very quickly. So things like heavy bolters, notorious for picking off drones at range, quite easy for the opponent to do. So that's the rules for Commander Shadowsun. So don't need to roll any dice up here really, it's just those fusion blaster shots. I think I've tried using Commander Shadowsun with ghost kills and we caught out quite quickly. And then Shadowsun's, she loses all the protection and it's blown away quite quick. So maybe the safest option is to operate behind your gun line and using the early benefits of Koyan and Montcut and so on, get those out of the way and use them up. Keep it buried nicely at the back line. Keep those keep those drones alive. You know, grant your real ones units nearby and so on. And then take the longer range high energy fusion blaster and snipe at range 24. Again from the safety of the gun line. And then turn 4, 5, 6, 7. Start to venture out to mop up units, pick on units and so on. It sounds a bit playing it safe, but there's no point in taking this commander here and then she gets destroyed turn 1, turn 2 because the opponent rapidly reacts and surrounds a little attack that she's making and so on, which I found happened to me. So it cautions the better option to go for to get the most out of this model. If you are going to go for some kind of infiltrator configuration, some blob, you're going to need to pack it with a good number of units, you know, stealth battlesuits, ghost kills and so on, lump them together, try and protect each other with Overwatch and stealth technology and drones and so on, and try and play it that way. But if you are going to do that, I think it needs to be quite a good investment because there's a lot of nasty quick units out there that can rush up and catch out Commander Shadowsun if you're not careful, and I'm speaking from experience on that one. So that's the rules on Commander Shadowsun. I've heard mixed reviews from Tau players. If you're an experienced Tau player and you've been using the new Commander Shadowsun, the new rules, then leave your own comments and feedback. Your own tactics and strategy, what combinations seem to work the best. Whether you agree with my kind of guidelines on Shadowsun or not, then put that in the comment section. And then if you're new to collecting Tau, not sure whether to go for Shadowsun or not, then check out the comment section and see what other Tau players are saying. But that is the video. If you like the colour scheme, and you don't have to use orange, you can swap orange out for blue or green or whatever kind of colours you want to go for. So feel free to copy that tutorial on YouTube here and the in-depth tutorial over on the Plus channel. This video here is part of a whole Tau Empire Tactica series. If you want to check out other main units that I use in my army, then check out those videos just where I zoom in at the models, get a chance to look at them, and then to focus specifically on the rules for each of these individual units. But that's the Tactica and showcase video for Commander Shadowsun. We'll see how often we see this model, but one thing's for sure, if we do more Tau Apocalypse, we've now got a real nice version of Commander Shadowsun to take part in those games. That's the video. Keep a look out for more Tactica on the channel. Thanks for watching and tune in next time.